As I say, it's just that nod. Everyone knows what you're going through. I think there's that bit of shame around, if you can't control your kids, you're a bad parent. That's kind of falling to the wayside a little bit. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. I don't. My eldest and I, we like to. Even when you're older, there's a move that parents do where they pull their kid into them and say it under their breath, so no one knows, but it's so clearly obvious that someone's getting flogged, like verbally. And I always do that to Violet. I always like, look, come here, and I just grab her arm and I say, "Would you like a donut?" And just because I just love that move, it's such a great move.
So tell us a little bit about how you felt when you first found out you were going to be a father.
My wife and I decided to start trying, and then we had 2 months where it didn't work. And we were like, it was the start of summer last year, and we we're pretty much ready to give up. And I was like, well, when I say give up, I was like, we were going to give up for the summer. We were like, screw it, we like drinking, both of us, too much, so let's give up for the summer, and we're done.
After 2 months?
Yeah, well, we started at a bad time. We had been talking about this for years and years, and always going back and forth about when was the best time to do it, because you'd have to miss out on 9 months of drinking for my wife, which is the truth. And so we thought these last 2 months of the year, there's not much going on, we'll give it a go.
Is she going to be happy with you talking about her priorities in that way?
Yeah, I think it's fine. We just won't use her name. Wait. They'll know who she is, but either way. So we tried twice, didn't happen. We're like, I think you go through a range of emotions, because I think immediately we were like, I'm a little older. I was 34 when we were trying. I was like, well, shit, no, we're done. Can't do it. It's not going to happen. 2 months in, like, this is it.
Did you really think that?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I did think that, or if it was just kind of it was definitely there in my head. It's not going to happen. It was definitely in her head as well. Then we were thinking, okay, well, we'll stop over summer and we'll talk about it more and come back to it. And then one day I was hanging out, washing outside, and I walked in the house. My wife was holding something up. And I said, what's that? What are you holding? And she said, a pregnancy test. And I said, I wasn't going to do a pregnancy test. Yeah, we'll see what happens. And she's like, no, look at it.
No, I've done it. Wow.
And, yeah. And
okay.
I was like, whoa. And it was just kind of like, it's a weird feeling in the beginning too, because it's surreal in that it kind of, I was dissociated from it. It was like, wow, my wife's pregnant, but not thinking, I'm having a baby, but wow, she's having a baby. That's
good on you.
Yeah,
congrats.
yeah. Like, it was weird.
Did you have the thing that I had when I first heard that I was going to have a child? Because when I say I've got 2 kids, the oldest one is a stepson.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that I was having the son that was biologically mine.
What was your story? Did you have anything interesting like that happen?
Well, it's the thing that I can find the most confusing is the sense of surprise and sort of your inability to believe that it's true when it's an outcome you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's like we're trying to do this, but for some reason I'm shocked that it happened.
Yeah, and when it happens, you're shocked.
Yeah.
Monty is about to go on this journey that we've all been on, and so we're here to help and guide. I guess the first thing really is, what does being a dad mean? So any of you guys got any thoughts about what being a dad really means that we can impart to Monty there?
Well, I mean, Monty, you're due to become a father in a month or so, is that correct?
That is correct.
So the first thing you will do, especially when your partner goes into labour, is just get out of the way, really. You just don't do anything. You just get ordered about, you follow directions, and that is your job.
Yeah.
Okay. I can handle that, I think.
I think that's one of the best pieces of advice any new dad can be given.
Yeah, don't give that to the mother. Don't say
It is good advice, but what's the alternative? That he goes in there and takes charge?
Well, it has been done.
I think that's that's something which is a pitfall that is almost recommended during some birthing classes and things like that. We find that people will come out with, these are some of the massage techniques. This is some of the things you should be doing. The conversation, make sure you've got the this and that and the other. However, I think that, and I don't want to jump the gun here, but from my experience, it was just all about exactly what Matthew said: stay the fuck out of the way and be quiet. Because essentially, the last thing that my partner wanted was to have anyone touching her, anyone near her, anyone talking to her for the entire labour process. So that was literally, I was sitting outside of the bathroom, just kind of sticking my head around the door occasionally, seeing how she was doing, and that was pretty much it. It's a pretty cruisy time.
Monty's pretty used to people treating him like that, so that's pretty all right, I think, isn't it?
Is he used to people sticking their heads around the toilet door, checking if he's all right?
Yeah. I told you to stop coming to my house, Stu.
Good luck, Monty. We're all counting on you.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's we've got a plan, and so would you like me to put on the birthing playlist now? That was a suggestion made, and I didn't get a verbal response, just a look which suggested sit down on the beanbag and wait until we call you.
What's a good couple of tunes for a birthing playlist?
I think Warrant's Cherry Pie is probably the number one pick. Yeah,
bit of Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse is good.
Yeah, always good.
When we did walk into the birthing suite, there was blaring over the sound system in the maternity ward was Turning Japanese, and that was absolutely. I see your picture. I see your picture. I see your picture, and my wife was just like, I don't care what you do, just turn that fucking music off. It was just so grating and irritating. So there's one not to put on your playlist.
Yep. Good.
You could be funny. You could be, here's one, get it, and put Push It by Salt and Pepper on there. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it an opportunity, if your wife likes a song that you hate, to time your playlist so that it happens relatively around the time the baby's coming, so she'll forever more associate that with a lot of pain and not want to play it?
Wow, that
a Pavlovian response.
It's
one of your better suggestions, Stu, I think. That's,
Thank you. I've peaked early. Okay, so Monty is really close to D-Day, prepping for hospital. Any advice to give about when the time comes to go into hospital, what you pack, what you should do, that sort of thing?
Yeah, can I add a little bit of part of the question on? I'm currently packing my hospital bag. Any tips?
Don't pack headphones.
What do you need to take? You can.
What do you mean don't pack headphones?
And what do you mean? What do I need to take? The internet has led me to believe a lot of things.
What do you need for you? I guess is the question. Is there anything for you?
Look, a pair of pants, I suppose.
Can I offer a piece of advice what may sound silly?
That's
but
why we're here.
Is rooted in legitimacy. Go out and buy yourself a 3-meter charging cable.
Oh. That's good advice. That's why we did this podcast, that kind of advice.
Explain. I'm baffled by the 3 meter.
Because what if they've got stupid power plug placement in the room?
Exactly.
Fair. Yeah, okay.
The last thing you want to be doing is sitting in the reasonably comfortable chair next to your wife and then having to lean back and over your shoulder because your phone's still on charge, but you want to be looking at the weather app or ordering some food for new parents.
Or checking how your solar panels are doing.
But also,
exactly.
But also, I mean, it that may sound a little selfish, but if your wife goes through labour and delivers a baby and then eventually says, "Can you take a photo of me?" and you're like, "Oh, my phone doesn't have charge. Does yours? Where's your phone?" Like, no.
I was too busy ordering pity chicken, so now my phone has no battery.
Yeah, trying to get it exactly right.
Good point. I like that a lot. That's actually really good advice. A long charging cable so that it is of no consequence where the power plug is. That's great.
Exactly.
Correct.
Can I just suggest that you don't get complacent?
I'm there already.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of got a bit blasé with the second one because the first one, old hand at this, been there, done that. Got my ticket punched, so I knew what I was on about. Yeah. So, wife woke up at 4 and was like, "Oh, I think it's time." I'm like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." So, I called the in-laws to come and look after my daughter, and I then proceeded to spend the next approximately 40 minutes constructing my lunch and breakfast for the rest of the day, considering that I've got a good 5-hour stint ahead of me. I'm going to want a couple of sandwiches and put together cut up some fruit, and seriously, and have never heard the end of it because. We arrived, and my wife actually gave birth in the examination room.
Wow.
And she was like, because you spent an hour getting your lunch ready before you actually took me to the hospital. Yeah. So I missed out on the birthing suite because you were more interested in making sure that you were going to be well fed.
Yeah.
Because hospital food sucks, and there was nothing near the hospital I'm at. So no,
you turned up and went, hang on, I've got this all planned out, and started cramming a sandwich into your head.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I thought, as I said, I had a good 5-hour window of food munching, and I had my game set up. I had everything ready to go. I had books. I had basically my next 5 hours planned out, and I went down to move the car from the emergency bay into a more secure car park. And by the time I got back, the midwife had said, so you're having a baby? And I'm like, yeah, that's why we're here. And she was like, no, you're having the baby. And he was halfway out when I walked back in the room, 10 minutes later.
Wow.
Well, if there's something your dad hates, it's a plan changing.
That's
exactly right. Oh. And my brother was the same. He actually his wife gave birth in between the two sliding doors of John Hunter Hospital in Newcastle. So she didn't make it even into the hospital. I at least made it to the examination room. But yeah, don't get complacent.
Is that what that movie was about?
And
sliding doors.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Look, there's always that constant battle in my house that Dad is always picks the wrong time to tell the kids to go to bed, even though it's the same bloody time every night. But they're always amidst some sort of tomfoolery that is just can't be stopped. Well, why at 1 minute to 8 every night are you telling me to go to bed when this is peak fun time? And so maybe that's part of it as well.
Yeah. I find myself trying to speed up time in a way, so that they do hit that peak earlier.
Right.
I'll be the one trying to get dinner happening at 6:15 rather than 7:15.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
the same.
Yes. And my excuse these days is because working from home and so on. I'll just say, look, I got work to finish. I just want to cook this dinner so I can get back to my work. So I'm doing it now just so I don't get interrupted later while I'm trying to work. There you are. And then that's okay because I know it has a psychological effect on you that you've had your dinner, so the next thing after dinner is winding down for bed.
Yeah.
I know that you're thinking that. I'm thinking that too.
They get pretty smart.
That's how it sounds in my head.
Too early. They get too smart too early and they just run interference. Both my girls are in this weird stage, and neither of them I've said, please can you just explain it to me, but I suspect it's just they don't want to go to bed, of arguing who's going to have the first shower. And I don't understand. They don't want to have the first shower, which then they complain when the other one uses the hot water.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm like, having a shower is nice. It's a nice time of the evening. Why? What's the resistance? And they can't give me an answer, but I suspect it's.
But is it a shower or just first shower?
No, first shower. They're not opposed to having a shower. They just don't want to have the first one.
Yeah, because you can't take your time because you've got to save hot water for the next one.
Yeah.
So there is pressure on you to get in and out, whereas the second
that's too sensible.
Shower,
I don't even think it's that. I think they're just no.
Right.
Or 4 months ago, someone strangely enough said, no, I don't want to have the first shower, and now it's just the other one was
it's in there.
I don't want to have if they don't want to have the first shower, maybe they know something about the first shower, so I won't have the first shower. I don't know. They cannot or will not explain why that's such an issue. Drives me crazy. That's what turns me into pure dad. He's just like, just
Someone have a fucking shower.
that's right. Just get in the shower. I don't understand.